Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the QuickBooks Quick Hits series. My name is Brittany Dank. I'm a supervisor in the Management Advisory Services group here at SVA. I'm also a QuickBooks Pro advisor, and I help our clients pretty regularly navigate QuickBooks. I do a lot of trainings. I host these webinars. So yeah, today we're going to go over some of the new changes with QuickBooks Online, the new QuickBooks Online experience, as it's being called. Now, I'm sure if you haven't noticed these changes hit your QuickBooks, you are likely to see them within the next 5 or 6 days. The change will become permanent, and we'll kind of go over the timeline and what phase of the transition we're in now. Without further ado, I'm going to get started. Typically, I do demonstrations for you and walk you through things. The sample company I typically use has not yet been migrated to the newer version of QuickBooks. So I'm going to walk through some slides today, but I just want to start by saying that if you do need further help navigating the new layout, feel free to reach out to me. I can give you more personalized, on-hand training. So just let me know or let your in charge at SVA know, and we can get someone in contact with you. No. Okay. So these are some of the things we're going to be going through in our 15 minutes today. So with the QuickBooks, it's a new experience. We'll walk through the transition timeline, kind of show you the new interface, what it looks like, where to access things. I'll walk through some of the bank feeds changes because if you haven't noticed, that's also quite different these days as well. And then I'm going to briefly walk through the AI agents, kind of an understanding of what it is, how you can use it to help you. If you don't really use any AI, and you're unfamiliar with like the ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, it works kind of very similar to that. But yeah, we'll kind of go through that as well towards the end of our presentation. Okay, so for our timeline, as you can see, and this all kind of started in July. In July, existing customers could opt into the new interface, and all new subscriptions defaulted to that layout. Then throughout August, a lot of customers were migrated. You probably logged in one day and noticed, oh, wow, this all looks totally different. So a lot of customers were migrated to the newest version of QuickBooks, the new experience, but you still had the option to opt out of that new experience. And in September, which would say the 24th, um, all customers who opted out of that experience are being forcibly transitioned to the new experience. So by October 1st, all QuickBooks Online users will be required to use the new experience. There is no opportunity to opt out. So you'll have to familiarize yourself with what it looks like, and hopefully I can help you do that. So when you log into QuickBooks, this image is courtesy of Intuit, but this would be very similar to what your interface will look like. You have your apps at the top, your business feed, those are your AI agents, and then down towards the bottom where it says business at a glance, that's where you can set up your dashboard. So there are a bunch of new widgets available. If you're not using your dashboard now, I highly recommend setting it up. I think one of the best changes with this new interface is that this home screen can be really valuable to and very helpful for your day-to-day financial performance. So I would really encourage you to set them up if you are not using them. So over on the left, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So number 1 is that global create button. It's pretty similar to the old layout. From here, you're still able to access most of the tools you would need for your day-to-day, such as, creating checks, paying bills, receiving payments, adding deposits. I even think there are some new features in there as well. But from here, that's where you can kind of access your to-dos, almost like the things that you would need to do every day to keep the business going. And then under number 2, this also same from the old layout, but I think it's much more valuable now with this change. If you don't have bookmarks set up, I would encourage you to set them up as well. It's just useful to access, regularly used features. For example, in my QuickBooks, I always set up the bank transaction under the bookmark if you're using the bank feeds. the reconcile feature, chart of accounts, and then the standard reports, which you can still get to under reports. But I like to be able to go there and just click with what I need, especially now that it looks different. It just makes it a lot easier. So number three, this is the business feed, some of the AI agents that we're going to touch on a little bit later. And then number four, you have this My Apps feature. So, with your smartphone, everything has an app. So I think that's kind of how this is set up as well. Like different areas of your business, now there's an app for it, but it's not like you have to go download it. So I think that it's helpful for organization. So you have like your accounting app, your expenses and pay bills app, your sales and get paid app, payroll, your customer hub, project management, and many more, sales tax, business tax. So you can actually take your top three apps that you use. So on this screen, it's accounting, expenses, and sales, and you can pin your top three over there. And if you were to click on accounting or, if you were to click on expenses, that's how you would access your vendors, your bills, your pay bills. Same with sales, you could access your customers and or your invoices. And so I know it was kind of different in the past because you would click on expenses and it would take you to everything and it would pop up. It no longer does that, but it still works the same. If you click on expenses, a little ribbon will show up and then you'll be able to navigate through there. Okay, moving on. I know one of the biggest shocks for me with all of these changes was updates to the bank feeds. This one took me by surprise. But I actually really like it. I think that, you know, I've noticed, and many of you have probably noticed, it's made my QuickBooks very slow. I know this is something Intuit is aware of and working on. So I want to say that feedback is really important. Intuit genuinely listens to users of the software and they, will take it into account. So don't ever hesitate to submit feedback. If, something pops up on your screen, asks you for feedback, I would take the time to, let them know what your thoughts and feelings are and kind of what you're experiencing. But a lot of your bank feeds features it's different, but the functionality is the same. So, next to your post button on the bank feeds, you're still able to split your transactions, create rules, view your categorization history, or exclude it altogether from your bank feeds. I think the newest feature is the AI aspect of the bank feeds. So, using the AI features within the QuickBooks, just keep in mind it's not a perfect solution. Always review the suggestion and the match that it's giving you, like you would have with the old bank feeds system, because it's only a tool to help you with the repetitive transactions. So just review your historical choices and pay close attention. AI is going to attempt to help you based on your prior choices. So it's going to learn over time and it will become better and help with some of the manual, like day to day, like adding, some of the same transactions. And it's going to look based on historically what you've done and maybe try to identify inconsistencies in your posting. If you were, it'll say, oh, you've posted Amazon to office supplies 4 out of the last 7 times. So if you try to post it to something else, it'll alert you, which I think is a nice feature. So AI is also going to utilize the banking descriptions as it pulls in from the bank to help detect things like bank feeds, and narrow in on bettering the suggestion that it's going to give you. So yeah, just keeping that in mind and always reviewing and trying to not just hit match because it's giving you something, or not just hit post because it's giving you something, but looking and helping the software help you in the future by teaching the AI, this is how I do things in my business. I also really like that you can now upload pictures of your bank statements or PDF copies. It'll bring it up on the screen and help you as you go to add transactions. So I wish this was something that I could show you, but I encourage you all to upload your bank statement to see what I'm talking about, and reach out if you have any questions. So with the new layout of the bank feeds, in the past, you would go to add a transaction, you'd click on the transaction, and below it would bring up this sort of window. And from there, you'd add all your detail, your category, your name, class, location, department, whatever you were using. This is all one line now, so you are able to add everything, without having to click on it. It's supposed to, whoop, sorry about that. Sorry about that. You're supposed to help streamline things, make it go a little bit faster. And you can filter out the columns that you're wanting to see. So if you don't use classes, you're not using locations, you can get rid of them so they're not like clouding your view, um, making it maybe go a little slower. Okay, so finally I want to touch on the AI agents because I do think this is really cool. I'm a big fan of like the Chat GPTs and the Microsoft Copilot. I just think it helps make everything really easy and, get rid of some of the um, boring tasks or, I like it's kind of so your AI agent in QuickBooks, I guess, like what is that, right? What is the AI agent? So it's kind of like Intuit says it's made like a digital teammate that's kind of working in the background to, help with some just regular business activities, almost behind the scenes. So you're dealing with AI in QuickBooks when you see this three-star icon that's up on the screen. um, you can actually pull this up and talk to it. So if I was adding a transaction in the bank feeds, I could, pull this up and say, add this detail, post it to this account, that use this class, whatever. I could talk to it and it would give me feedback, and have like yeah, I could have like a real conversation with it. So I think that's really cool. That would fall maybe under the accounting agent. So the accounting agent, payments agent, customer agent, finance agent, project management agent. So your accounting agent, you tell it, can you update this transaction or add this level of detail? Can you generate this bill, this invoice, or can you add this transaction based on this uploaded receipt? So your customer agent is different. It's going to help. You can actually link your Gmail, like if you use Gmail, you can actually link your Gmail with your customer agent, so it can help you like automate and generate leads, which is a cool feature. It's something QuickBooks is they were using, I think, MailChimp, but with this like customer hub, which I'll talk about in the next webinar, but with this customer agent, it can kind of help you in that area. And then your payments agent is kind of AI you ask it, like it'll start to identify maybe overdue uncollected on invoices. So it'll auto generate emails for you to review or send out to help get payments in faster, draft customer communications, maybe do some of that collections activity that we all love, right? Your project management agent, you'll see this if you're using the projects feature in QuickBooks Online. It just helps with the bid to profit cycle, helps with putting all of that information together. It's not available unless you're using the projects feature, so you wouldn't come across this. And then finally, there's your finance agent. Um, your finance agent helps offer a summary of like financial performance within your company. A lot of times I think this one can be seen on the profit and loss statement. So if you've migrated to the new system and you're on your P&L, you'll see these little, I'm going to call them sparkles. They're like blue sparkles on your financial statement. If you click on those, it'll give you data. So it'll tell you, oh, this is down whatever from last year. So it tries to give you like financial insights based upon historical data within your file. So that's all I have for you today. I really appreciate all of your time and thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you have any questions or maybe you're still confused on the whole change to the new experience, please reach out to your SVA representative and they can get you in contact with me, or maybe they could help you kind of familiarize yourself with the new layout. If you haven't yet changed, I would expect this to go into effect on October 1st with no chance of opting out. But I will see you all next time where I will dive further into the AI bill pay and customer hub with QuickBooks. Thank you.